Good morning and welcome. I am Speaker Randall Hicks, and I call to order the Mvskoke Creek National Council Quarterly Session, January 27th, 2024. Time is 10 a.m. This time, our invocation will be given by Eli Littlehead, College of the Mvskoke Nation student. Eli.
My name is Eli Littlehead. I will be singing a song and saying the Lord's Prayer. If you all would like to sing with me, you're glad to do so. Hayakin aleiji Miko sapi mungkin poyakatis. Hayakin aleiji Miko sapi mungkin poyakatis. Ikinaka chihotoses chinaotes poyakati ahayakin aleji miko sapi mungkin poyakati miko sapa Jihotoses inaotes porcatis ahayakin aleji kosapi mungkin porcatis. I will say the Lord's Prayer. With Gehalwe Legetska. Jihochifgid, achakikas, Jim oh mikida alekikas, Mima halwe naki, gomitski, Momat itapomid, Yama ikanan oh momikas, Netta athaka dakalekin, Mucha nittan pumas, Momet pumahuethon, es pumwegas, Ahuethe chiat, es imwekakiat, Bomen. Naki. Una uthkipe chitayi. Eskithida sep o ahyechka. Momis howakat. Esipusechas. O mikida. Yechida. Momenthakida. Naki. Imankat. Omika. Iman. Mado.
You may be seated. Mr. Littlehead, I just want to say I appreciate that. I know the courage that it took to come up here and to do what you did. And the reason I kind of wanted the College of the Mvskoke student to come do that this time is because one day one of these students is maybe standing behind this podium where I am, or maybe sitting out there where one of you are in one of our leadership roles. And this is just an encouragement to keep going and pushing forward for what you want. And your dreams are reachable. They are. Don't let anybody stop you. But anyway, that was the purpose of this, having somebody young and from our college to come and do our blessings this morning. So, again, Mado. Roll call, National Council Secretary Alicia Strobel.
Speaker Randall Hicks.
Present.
Jody Barnett.
Present.
Galen Cloud.
Lega.
Mary Crawford.
Present.
Joyce Steer.
Present.
Patrick Freeman.
Here.
Sandra Golden.
Present.
Leonard Gouge.
Here.
Nelson Harjo.
Here.
Robert Huft.
Present.
Hannah Marshall.
Present.
Charles McHenry.
Here.
Thomasina Holla Osborne.
Present.
Daryl Proctor.
Here.
Mark Randolph.
Present.
Robin Whitecloud.
Present.
You have 16 present, 0 absent.
16 present and 0 absent. Constitutes a quorum. All business conducted will be official. We're down to the State of the Nation address. So at this time, I'd like to call forth Principal Chief David W. Hill He will give the State of the Nation and also introduce the dignitaries.
Good morning. It's a rainy day out there. Good day. I guess it's a lot better than the ice that we had. Appreciate each and every one that's come out to attend State of the Nation, also attending this council's first session, so I appreciate that. Okay, Second Chief Beaver, Speaker Hicks, Second Speaker Jehola Osborne, Sergeant of Arms, and Representative of National Council. Our honored guests, tribal judges, our dignitaries and friends, churches, ceremonial grounds, and most importantly, our fellow Mvskoke and Yuchi citizens. Before I get to my speech, I'd like to make some introductions. The list that was provided to me. But first of all, I'd like to introduce my wife, Monica Hill. And as well as Second Chief Dale Beaver's wife, Rhonda. Thank you all for coming. I'd like to introduce two gentlemen that I think of highly. Two former Principal Chief, Mr. Chief Bill Five. Please. And also former Chief George Tiger. Thank you. And I always appreciate for the former chiefs and administration for setting the foundation. And also you always say you got to fill big shoes. And I will say I don't wear the size shoes they do, so I had the big shoes to fill. So I appreciate it. But thank you for always the job that y'all did as Principal Chief, as I served on the council as well. So thank you, Mado. Also our Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice Richard LeBlanc. Justice Miko George Thompson. Justice Leo Harjo Ware. And District Court Judges, Chief Judge Roger Wiley. And Judge Lisa Odepody. Now I'd like to introduce our royalty, Miss Mvskoke Creek Nation Shanoa Barnett. Junior Miss Mvskoke Creek Nation Georgia Harjo. And the royalty coordinator, Luann Bear. Make her stand up. We do have some mayors present. Mayor from Bristol, Chris Wyatt. Yes, thank you. And also Glenpool Mayor George Calvert. We also have present with us former Speaker of the National Council, Thomas Jehola. Also Sam Alexander. I just seen former Speaker William Lowe. Please stand. Thank you. I don't know if I missed anyone else. Do raise your hand. I've seen James Williams now. Again, thank you all for attending today's address and also attending the council's first session, so I appreciate each and every one. When the United States government removed our people from their homelands and forced us to come to this place, we were given one blanket per family and left to survive in a foreign land. Since then, our people have fought to preserve our culture, retain our government, and rebuild our nation. Hasn't been easy. Many have sacrificed much for our rights to exist. So it's my great honor to stand before you today and once again affirm that not only are we still here, but the state of our nation is strong and getting stronger every day. This past year, we faced challenges, celebrated victories, marked historic occasion, and learned from our experiences. The common theme through it all that we've done this together. So I want to thank each and every one of you. Our people's support and unifying spirit have been a constant source of strength in all our decisions. Thank you again for the belief and trust you placed in Second Chief and I, and the support you have shown to our families. To our National Council, it's been a privilege to have this opportunity to join your first general session of the new year to deliver this address. I have worked with some of you before, and others I have not. But my commitment to providing this legislative body with everything it needs from the executive branch for a fully functional and thriving government retains the same. Your job as legislators couldn't be any more important as we continue in this new era of tribal sovereignty and jurisdictional responsibility. We are blessed to lead in a time of tremendous opportunity to do great things together. The Supreme Court has affirmed our reservation, our promise of a home that is truly ours. To fully honor this promise, we must continue building up our government, refining our laws, and implementing new frameworks enabling our nation to exercise our national sovereignty fully. I pledge to you a spirit of solidarity in our efforts. Though we will check and balance one another, I draw comfort in knowing that we all have a singular goal of enriching the lives of the Mvskoke citizens. I know together we can accomplish this goal. I'm proud of the work we've done together to grow and expand through the first 4 years of our administration, and we are just getting started. In 2023, we worked to preserve the sacred and defend our culture in Oklahoma and our ancestral homelands. We held a ceremony to raise the flag of the Mvskoke Nation at the City Hall in Macon. Now and forever, the Mvskoke seal flies proudly over Georgia. We visited Alabama to commemorate and remember the 209th Battle of Horseshoe Bend and began the process to erect a monument for over the 800 Mvskoke lives lost there. This memorial will forever honor the lives and sacrifices of our people at that somber place. We renewed our legal battles to hold a certain so-called tribe accountable for the desecration of Hickory Ground. The atrocities committed at this sacred place cannot stand. By continuing this fight for justice, we honor our ancestors from the long ago, but also our elders of today. In May, we introduced a new program under Social Services Department, the Tribal Grave House Assistant Program. This program began on October 1st and will provide up to $500 to a Mvskoke family towards the purchase of supplies to construct a grave house for their loved ones. We must continue pushing ideas and programs that are Mvskoke and preserve the advance in our ways. Thank you, Second Speaker Osborne, for sponsoring and promoting this bill. Defending our culture also means educating and creating opportunities for the next generation of Mvskoke citizens. Last September, we celebrated our 100th Mvskoke citizens. We are growing and getting stronger every day, despite attempt after attempt throughout the history to wipe us out. A borrowed line I like to repeat. They tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. Our children must have adequate facilities, and they deserve nothing but the best. So last year, we broke ground on a new child care center in Wetumpka. We also celebrated the largest graduating class in the history of the College of Mvskoke Nation, an example of the vast growth of our college and our commitment to higher education. We are equally committed to trade school and have created a partnership with Oklahoma State University Institute of Technology and have graduated tribal cities from lineman, fiber optic, and natural gas pipeline technology programs, technician programs, I apologize. And I noticed in the crowd we have Dr. Monty Randall. Would you please stand and be recognized, president of our college. Thank you for your attendance, and I know Dr. Bob will be proud of you. Our next generation will be strong, but it's up to this current generation to protect their inheritance by defending, exercising, and celebrating our sovereignty. We once again marked our national holiday of Sovereignty Day in July, with a special on the far end presented at River Spirit by MK. The well-attended event was another meaningful opportunity for our people to celebrate and be proud of this day. I know the veterans sacrificed their life in what we call July 4th, but I always look at our ancestors who actually fought in the early years. And it was once noted to me that, July 9th was our 4th. But I want to thank all the veterans, even those that came before us, those in our original homeland. Thank you for your fight. In May, tribal leaders united, calling for the override of anti-sovereignty vetoes from the governor. And we saw those vetoes defeated. We pledged to continue to use our strength to rise against similar threats in the future. We continue to be viewed as the leaders in Indian country on matters that deal with tribal sovereignty. We applaud the denials of the certification in the city of Tulsa versus Hooper case, which yet another challenge to the jurisdiction authority of the Mvskoke Nation. Here the courts reaffirmed that the state and the city lack jurisdiction over tribal citizens on the Mvskoke Creek Reservation. Let me be clear, we will never cease in our efforts to fight and stand against such challenge. The Supreme Court has spoken. This reservation is ours. Along the rights, we fully embrace the responsibilities of sovereignty. The public safety has always been our highest priority. In the days and months after the McGirt decision, the leaders across the state faced a choice to work or against us. Sadly, some chose division and fear. The Mvskoke Nation chose collaboration, and we are grateful for the many partners that have joined us. Our justice system has added significant capacity, even as we continue our commitment to aggressively seek ways to help our judges, our prosecutors, and our police. In the coming year, we will increase access to our court system through expansion in our northern region in Riverwalk, our southern region in Holdenville, and our eastern region in Mvskoke. Our Attorney General's office will continue to expand its capacity. This office will always provide vital educational and training opportunities for our partners. Next month, Attorney General Wisner will host the first Justice on the Reservation Conference. This workshop will bring together law enforcement, prosecutors, judges, child advocates, medical and mental health providers, and child abuse allied partners. Nationally recognized subject matter expert will share discipline-specific best practice recommendations, investigative strategies, prosecution legal updates, and multidisciplinary team practice to reduce secondary trauma. Events like this provide opportunities to improve collaboration among federal, state, and tribal agencies. We've already heard from several of our partners who are eager to attend and continue our successful collaboration approaching to maintaining and increasing public safety on the reservation. In 2023, we welcome the site to visit tribal headquarters from the United States Department of Justice Office of Violence Against Women. OVW came to the reservation as we hosted the 18th annual government-to-government tribal consultation at the River Spirit Casino Resort. The OVW leadership group visited the executive branch and met with the Attorney General's office and our Mvskoke Creek Nation Center for Victim Services. Myself, Attorney General Wisner, and Chief of Staff 5 gave critical testimony to the Department of Justice related to the court and public safety, giving direct information to the DOJ and how it can improve relationship between the nation and the DOJ and the state. This collaboration with OVW is vital as this nation continues to exercise the authority created by the reauthorization of VAWA to protect our citizens. I hope that Governor Stitt will take notice that none of these advances in public safety requires a task force. It is just what working together should look like. Beyond public safety, our administration took significant steps in 2023 to create new economic opportunities for our nation and our people. We started our year by signing an MOU with the City of Tulsa and the City of Jenks for the South Tulsa Dam Project, which has been in work for years. Our National Council diligence in vetting this deal enabled us to make it happen and open up all kinds of new economic opportunities throughout the expansion along the river. In June, we hosted representatives from Oklahoma Municipal League and Oklahoma Broadband Office at the executive office to discuss ways to partner to increase access to broadband and high-speed connectivity across the reservation. We're excited to share that since then, we have made advancements in the Secretary of the Nation's office with the strategic plan and the coverage mapping for our rural areas. Increasing access in these areas will help in many ways, including more significant economic opportunities, increasing community engagement, and more efficient access to modern health care. The nation was honored to host the National Tribal Self-Governance Conference at River Spirit Casino over the summer. The first time a tribal nation in Oklahoma has hosted. We had an excellent opportunity to visit federal partners and agencies to discuss what we need here on our reservation and how to work with them to achieve our goals. We hosted IHS Director Rosalind So at our Coweta facility to discuss our joint ventures and the ongoing success and needs of the Mvskoke Nation Department of Health. Dr. So was blown away by the automated pharmacy refill and distribution center, and we like it also. Through such economic development and strategic partnership, we can make life better for our citizens. In November, we opened up our 4th remote tag office in Mvskoke, continuing our promise to expand services to take it to the citizens. In the last 2 years, we opened up tribal tags to all citizens in Oklahoma, generating over $2 million in revenue and reaching over 180,000 transactions. Mado to our Tax Commissioner, Mary Mvskoke, and her team for another job well done. Thank you, Mary. In March, the National Council unanimously passed a tribal resolution matching tribal funds with state, IHS, and local county resources totaling over $20 million to fund 16 projects in 10 communities across the reservation fully. The various projects include wastewater treatment plants and repairs, public pump station replacements, Beggs Lake Dam repair, and numerous primary water line replacement and repairs. I want to thank Bobby Howard and his department, his staff, for all the hard work you do, even with working with our local communities and with the FEMA. Thank you, Bob. This incredible commitment to infrastructure on the reservation demonstrates that we're here for our communities and neighbors. As part of the Intertribal Energy Management Council 2023 Summit at River Spirit, we got the privilege to honor and host FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell, the first site of the administrator to the tribal nation. We're still the only nation to receive a federal disaster declaration authorizing local communities to receive assistance through the tribe. We also have the #1 tribal disaster mitigation plan in the country. And we are the authors of the Tribal Joint Field Operation Playbook, which has been distributed nationwide to all 579 tribal nations. Our work in emergency management and with FEMA is paying off, especially during winter events and emergencies. This tribe is recouping monies that are there and far too long weren't utilized. As we look ahead to the coming year, we will continue to face numerous threats from the state of Oklahoma. We have all taken an oath to, as elected officials of this nation, we will honor that oath. We didn't swear to bend public pressure or outside interests. We swore to uphold and defend the Constitution of Mvskoke Creek Nation, and that is what we'll do. Part of the responsibility with the Affirm Reservation are to explore every avenue and opportunities to enrich the lives of our citizens through the powers of the sovereign. For instance, our oil and gas department was revived last year, and we are amending codes to be more efficient, effective, and protective of our natural resources. For too long, the precious resource that have been stripped out of the stolen land underneath us have been used to enrich the lives and generations of others. It's time to reclaim our promise for the benefit of those that it was promised to. We realize that natural resources also reach a personal level for many citizens, and we will protect you as well. I'm excited about several other projects that are deep into the planning process. These including grocery stores, laundry service, and aerospace manufacturing. We plan to expand our agribusiness to include a tribal co-op. In other areas, we have serious conversation with some of our most reputable creative minds to expand our interest in the film and television production and capitalizing on the current demand for authentic native storytelling. And I would like to say this Sunday, please show your support for Lily Gladstone as she's been presented. So that just marks another milestone for Native people. We are well on our way to increasing our creative economy here on the reservation. I welcome the National Council to work with my administration to meet both the challenges and opportunities before us. I know that if we are working together, there is nothing we can't overcome. With many dark periods behind us, our future is bright. May God bless you and our great Mvskoke nation. But before I end, just the other day, we got notice that our realty department received an award, Indian Land Office of the Year. Another accomplishment. We have any staff from the realty department, please stand and be recognized. And I believe you're receiving the award at the end of this month. And you're going all the way to California. Why you want to leave this nice weather that we have here? So I definitely want to thank the National Council and looking forward to working with you the next 4 years. Appreciate it. And Speaker, I will turn it over to you. Thank you. Appreciate everyone for coming. Mado.
Principal Chief, just want to say Mado for your words this morning that you shared. So. We are down to approval of the minutes. Planning session, December 12th, 2023. Pre-agenda, regular session, December 16th, 2023. Entertain a motion. Representative Marshall.
I make a motion that we approve the aforementioned minutes with any necessary changes.
Representative Marshall made a motion to approve the minutes with any corrections as needed, seconded by Representative Thomasine Yahola Osborne. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Hannah Marshall,
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Robin Whitecloud. Abstain. Cody Barnett,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Sandra Golden,
Yes.
Hunter Gouge,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 14 in favor and 1 to abstain.
14 in favor and 1 to abstain. Minutes have been approved. Next item on the agenda is order of business. PR 24-001, a tribal resolution of the Mvskoke Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a memorandum of understanding between the Mvskoke Creek Nation and Green Country Technology Center on behalf of the Mvskoke Creek Nation Reintegration Department. Sponsors Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Yahola Osborne made a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Marshall. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion is adopted. PR 24-002, a tribal resolution of the Mvskoke Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute an engagement letter for legal services between Mvskoke Creek Nation Tax Commission and Pipestem Law, PC. Sponsor, Sandra Golden.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Golden made a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Proctor. Discussion.
Speaker, Ms. Mvskoke was not here to answer questions in regard to the legislation and the agreement, so I'd like to ask that we send it back to committee, and then she can answer the questions and give the information. So I make a motion to return.
Okay. Representative Golden made a motion to return legislation back to the committee, seconded by Representative Proctor. Any discussion? Representative Barnett.
If the council wouldn't mind, I believe Ms. Mvskoke is here today that she could address any questions. But either way, whatever they want to vote is fine.
Golden.
There were several questions, so I thought it would be better if it could go back to committee and she could bring that forward.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, the motion on the floor is to return back to committee. Roll call vote, please.
Sandra Golden,
Yes.
Hunter Gouge,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Robert Huft, Hannah Marshall,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Robin Whitecloud,
Yes.
Cody Barnett,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman. Yes. You have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. That motion is approved. That legislation will be returned back to the committee. PR 24-003, a tribal resolution of the Mvskoke Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute FY 2022, 2023, and 2024 105I renewal lease agreements with the United States Department of Interior Bureau of Indian Affairs for the benefit of the Mvskoke Creek Nation Citizenship Office. Sponsors Galen Cloud. Representative Cloud made a motion to adopt. Seconded by Representative Proctor. Any discussion? No discussion? Voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion is adopted. PR 24004, a tribal resolution of the Mvskoke Creek Nation. Discussion. Hearing none, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion is adopted. Just a minute. I don't know what happened to our. Okay, we're back in business. PR 24005, a tribal resolution of the Mvskoke Creek Nation amending TR 19076, a tribal resolution of the Mvskoke Creek Nation to suspend all special appropriations and donations as amended by TR 20150, TR 21080, TR 22128, TR 22143, TR 22150, TR 22155, TR 22170, TR 23045, TR 23066, and TR 23096. Sponsors, Representative Anna Marshall.
Motion to adopt.
Representative Marshall made a motion to adopt. Seconded by Representative Randolph. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, voice vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
No.
Had one no, so we'll do a roll call vote.
Anna Marshall. Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Robin Whitecloud.
Yes.
Jody Barnett.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Deere.
No.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
No.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nielsen Harjo.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
You have 13 in favor, 2 against.
13 in favor, 2 against. That motion is adopted. NCA 24001, a law of the Mvskoke Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of the Family Voices MCHB Unwinding Project grant for the benefit of the Mvskoke Creek Nation Department of Community and Human Services. Sponsors, Mary Crawford.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Crawford made a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Deere. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman. Yes. Sandra Golden. Hunter Gouch.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Hannah Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Robin Whitecloud.
Yes.
Jody Barnett.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
You have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. That motion is adopted. NCA 24002, a law of the Mvskoke Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of grant funds awarded from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for the benefit of the Geospatial Department. Sponsors Robin Whitecloud.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Whitecloud made a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Huff. Discussion. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Robin Whitecloud.
Yes.
Jody Barnett.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Hunter Gouch.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Hannah Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
You have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. That motion is adopted. NCA 24003, a law of the Mvskoke Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, fiscal relief funding for improvements to a building on tribal property located in Holdenville, Oklahoma. Sponsor Representative Galen Cloud.
Representative
Cloud made a motion to adopt. Do I have a second? Second by Representative Gouch. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer. Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
No.
Hunter Gouch.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Hannah Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Robin Whitecloud.
Yes.
Jody Barnett.
Yes.
We have 14 in favor, 1 against.
14 in favor, 1 against. That motion is adopted. NCA 24004. The law of the Mvskoke Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of grant funds awarded from the Oklahoma Native Assets Coalition for the benefit of the Office of the Secretary of the Nation. Sponsors Sandra Golden.
Motion to adopt.
Representative Golden made a motion to adopt. Seconded by Representative Proctor. Discussion. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Hunter Gouch.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Hannah Marshall. Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Robin Whitecloud.
Yes.
Jody Barnett.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. That motion is adopted. NCA 24005. A law of the Mvskoke Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, fiscal relief funding for the installation and optimization of broadband and communication tower equipment located within Okmulgee County, Oklahoma. Sponsors Nelson Harjo Sr., co-sponsor Robin Whitecloud.
Speaker, make a motion to adopt.
Representative Harjo made a motion to adopt. Do I have a second?
Speaker, I'd like to make a motion to postpone for a month due to, I feel like we need to address
Representative
the.
Cloud? Motion is I got to have a second before
Okay.
we make the other.
Okay.
Representative Barnett seconded Harjo's motion. Discussion.
I'd like to make a motion.
Second. You are a sponsor of legislation. You go first if you have anything to say.
The only thing I have to say about this particular legislation is that I know there was some questions about the land, but this particular legislation is not dealing with the issue of land. It's dealing with the issue of installing equipment, and that land matters are being looked at, it's in a process outside of us leasing a piece of property. But right now, this piece of legislation is dealing strictly with installation of equipment, if I'm speaking right. So I don't want to do that.
Okay, thank you, Representative Harjo. Any other discussion? Representative Whitecloud.
Speaker, I'd like to make a motion to postpone for 1 month because I feel like we need to address the land issue before we go ahead with this purchase. Thank you.
Representative Cloud made a motion to postpone for 1 month. Got a second by Representative Barnett. Any discussion? Any discussion? Representative McHenry.
I have a question for, is there like an issue with the importance of the time frame of this legislation?
Bobby Howard, could you come down and address the council, please?
Bobby Howard, Director of Emergency Management for the Mvskoke Creek Nation. The time and the reason that we are ordering the equipment now, it is a 3 to 6 month lead time on the equipment. If we keep pushing this back, we are putting our citizens and our employees, our emergency service folks, in danger the longer that we continue to push this back. It is for the sole purpose of buying the equipment. The land is in question. There's a contract that is sitting at East Central right now for the purchase of the land. I don't understand why the land was brought up. There was a fully executable lease. East Central's president of the board called the nation and offered to sell us the land, which was in a better position for the nation than to have a long-term lease. So we worked with Realty. They have a contract that's been sent to East Central, and then we're just waiting for East Central to send it back. Then we'll bring it in front of the council. But the issue at hand, like Representative Harjo said, and McHenry, the issue is the lead time on the equipment.
Representative McHenry.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Yes,
Representative
Speaker.
Barnett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've worked the festival as a vendor and as a volunteer for several years, so I definitely want to keep our citizens safe. I know how frustrating it can be when there's no signal for cell phone service or Wi-Fi. Been there many times as a volunteer. So we also, though, sitting at this table, have a fiduciary responsibility to the people that we're good stewards of the assets and the monies. And I would like to have someone from Realty come down and answer a couple of questions, if they would, please. Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Representative from Realty. Good morning. Please state your name.
Rachel Langley with the Realty Office.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. Ms. Barnett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning.
Good morning.
So can you tell us a little bit about this lease that we currently have with ECO?
I am not aware of any lease. I have not processed any lease. That would be a question actually for Mr. Howard. Our office is working on a purchase agreement. Excuse me. We actually are like I said, working on a purchase agreement with East Central. We have requested an appraisal. We have not got that back. There are some title issues that we're working on that we have to get. We have to get a title commitment. We're not ready on that yet either. So we're looking at probably 60 days at least before we can close on a piece of property.
So, okay, so we're looking at least 2 months before we can close, and there's no lease that you guys have on record.
I've not seen a lease. No.
Okay. Maybe do we remember from the committee how much money we've already put in this property? I personally have an issue with investing money into a property that we neither have a current lease on or own. And I'm sure our partners are good people and they wouldn't pull a fast one on us, but we don't really have any guarantees that property is going to be ours. And this is a big amount of money to be investing in that. Although I do understand that it's needed, the time frame might not be attainable for this year's festival.
That would be a question Mr. Howard, I'm sure, would have to answer as a lease. I've not seen a lease. I did not find one at the county that's filed, so that's going to be a question for Mr. Howard. I don't have access to that. I'm sorry.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Representative Barnett. Representative Whitecloud.
Ms. Langley, during your process of looking at the land and everything, you guys research and make sure that there's no mortgages on the surrounding land, access issues, and all of that?
Yes, we verify that we have clean title to the property, that we have access to the property. That's part of the acquisition form that we have to do that you guys passed back in 2020. That's part of the process that we do, and that's part of what we are cleaning up that we're having to clean up for our title that we have not been able to do yet.
I just feel like we're putting the cart before the horse if we invest so much money on a purchase when we're unclear about the land at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Whitecloud. Any other discussion? Representative Randolph.
Just along what Representative Whitecloud was saying, with the tracks, is there a mortgage out there? Is there a $178 million? We cannot buy it without consent from the mortgage holder. We have to pay fair market value. Can you speak to that?
Yes. Actually, there are actually 9 mortgages on the property right now. The $178 million mortgage is the latest, and that is not due to mature until 2055. That encumbers the 2.5 acres and some other property that East Central does have, and we will have to get a release on that. That's part of the acquisition form that we have to clear title on. We'll have to get a release before we can do that, but yes, it is currently mortgaged 9 times over on the property right now. We will have to get a release. Again, that's one of the things that we have to clear before we can purchase the property.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Randolph. Any other discussion? Representative Golden.
Speaker, I do understand that it appears that we're putting the cart before the horse. At the same time, with the information that Mr. Howard presented as far as what the equipment is, and I agree that the timeliness of it for the equipment, to me, outweighs this issue that we may have with the land. And as far as realty, they do have to have the time to do their due diligence, and I know that they will because they have been doing that in the past. So I don't think we should hold this up. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Golden. Representative Hupp.
Mr. Howard, do we have a working lease? Do we have a lease at this time?
Thank you, Ms. Langley.
So we had a lease agreement that went through the AG's office, and we took it to East Central. East Central then, of course, phone call said, hey, we want to be good partners with the nation. It would be in your best interest, and it would cost you a lot less money if we sold you the land. So we then, on November 1st, sent the land acquisition form to Realty to start the land acquisition process. So I could take the lease agreement tomorrow or Monday down and have it signed and bring it back if you would feel more comfortable with a signed lease agreement instead of waiting for Realty to purchase the land. That is you guys' choice. But East Central is not charging us throughout this entire time since 1 November as a lease person.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Representative Huff. Representative Randolph.
Thank you, Speaker. Can we hear from our AG, Ms. Weisner? Can you speak to this issue any?
Attorney General Weisner.
Morning, Council. Specifically, what was the question?
Well, Mr. Howard was saying that something went through your office, and I would just like you to speak to that. What's the legalities of all this? And if there is a mortgage and we did purchase the land, is there a possibility we could inherit the mortgages also if they're not clear?
Yes, sir. Representative, I think there are a number of factors that are going on here. With respect to the lease, I believe it was back in the latter part of 2023 that the lease agreement was put through my office. We reviewed the terms and we felt that we returned to go forward was appropriate and had the protections that we look for. With respect to the purchase, my office hasn't been involved with that aspect of it as of yet. But we would be concerned, as I believe has been expressed by Realty, if there are encumbrances upon the clean title, if there are any other issues with that, we would bring it up and discuss with whoever is bringing that purchase paperwork in progress. We would take a look at it and see if there are easements. We haven't been to that stage just yet. But those, I'm just saying, in theoretically, those are the things that we would look at to see how we would be, how we could clean up the title to avoid any prior mortgages, to avoid any other encumbrances. Again, though, it hasn't been presented yet, but those are the things that we would look at in going forward.
Thank you, Ms. Weisner. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Randolph. Any other discussion?
Speaker.
Representative Barnett.
All right, just one more thing to add. I know that while the legislation itself technically does not involve the purchase of the land, I've seen instances where this body has been presented or even gifted. I remember there was a pipeline going through by Duck Creek Casino a few years ago, and a landowner did a quick deed title with us so that supposedly trying to keep the pipeline away from the casino, and then we found out there were all kind of mortgages on it. There was a lot of liability on it. After the fact, it was not a good deal for us. I know there were similar issues with Bacone College, where it was just not in the nation's best interest to do that. And so I think that we need to be very diligent about the land piece of this, right? And that's part of our sovereignty is land-based, so we need to go, there's a right way and a wrong, and maybe not wrong, but a better way to do things. And I think paying attention to the details of the land itself would be the better way to proceed. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Barnett. Any other discussion? Representative Harjo.
Mr. Harjo, could you speak to this as far as timelines are concerned and what we may be looking at according to this particular legislation?
Thank you, Representative Harjo. The timeline is pretty tight in terms of...
I'm sorry. Go ahead and just introduce yourself and who you're with for the record.
I'm Zachariah Harjo. I'm the Secretary of the Nation. I am the Chief Officer involved in the management of the American Rescue Plan Act funds. The timeline is pretty tight, as Mr. Howard alluded to. The obligation timeline for American Rescue Plan Act funds, ARPA funds, is 2024. And Treasury has released further guidance recently in the past, I would say 30 to 45 days, about that obligation timeline. And if the council's intention is to move forward with this type of acquisition in terms of equipment, I would agree that time is of the essence. However, I do understand the components of land and those being the title in question potentially being a huge mechanism for or against the nation, this acquisition and investment in a community asset, essentially. So we have until the end of the year, but ultimately the timeline is really short, and the nation will be needing to make a number of investments and appropriations utilizing the remaining ARPA funds that we have. And again, they will need to move rather quickly. So I can't say which way this council might be recommended to move in terms of a vote, but there is a component of timeline, and the end of this year is closing in on us, even though it's January as of right now.
Thank you, Mr. Harjo. Representative Harjo.
Thank you.
Good. Any other discussion? Representative Yohola Osborne.
Thank you, Speaker. If the council chooses to postpone this bill, we can always have an emergency session in the future regarding this legislation. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Yohola Osborne. Any other discussion? Hearing none, the motion on the floor is to postpone. I know you said 1 month, but did you mean to the next council meeting? Yeah. So the motion is to postpone until the next council meeting. Next regular council meeting, I should say. Okay, that's the motion on the floor. We had a second. No more discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Robin Whitecloud?
Yes.
Jody Barnett?
Yes.
Galen Cloud?
No.
Mary Crawford? Wistier?
No.
Patrick Freeman? Sandra Golden?
No.
Senator Gouge?
No.
Nelson Harjo?
No.
Robert Huft?
No.
Hannah Marshall?
No.
Charles McHenry?
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne?
Yes.
Darrell Proctor?
No.
Speaker, you have 5 in favor, 9 against.
Didn't vote.
I'm sorry, Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 6 in favor, 9 against.
6 in favor, 9 against. That motion fails. Now we're back to the main motion. Is there any discussion, any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Nelson Harjo?
Yes.
Robert Huft?
Yes.
Hannah Marshall? Charles McHenry?
No.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne?
No.
Darrell Proctor?
Yes.
Mark Randolph?
No.
Robin Whitecloud?
No.
Jody Barnett?
No.
Galen Cloud?
Yes.
Mary Crawford?
No.
Wistier? Patrick Freeman?
Yes.
Sandra Golden?
Yes.
Senator Gouge? We have 9 in favor, 6 against.
9 in favor, 6 against. So that motion is adopted. NCA 24007, a law of the Mvskoke Creek Nation, creating new law in MCN State Title 30, Chapter 2, entitled Legislative Districts, to name the Wagner-Rogers-Mays District boundary jurisdiction to Coweta District. Sponsors, Mark Randolph.
Motion to adopt.
Representative Randolph made a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative McHenry. Discussion.
Thank you, Speaker. I'd like to give some time to our former National Council representative and Speaker, Mr. Thomas Yohola. While he's coming down, is that okay, Speaker?
Yes, sir.
While he's coming down, I'd like to say this was done with Hughes County and changed to Tucobuche. And Mr. Yohola inspired us to look at that and for Coweta. And he's got some pertinent information he'll share with you, but I think it's stressing our sovereignty and saying this was our original names. These were the names of the districts when we were here prior to. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Yohola.
Good morning, sir. You have the floor, Mr. Speaker.
Hey, Mr. Speaker, National Council, citizens. It's a pleasure to, come home again. Usually I'm on that side, but I'm on this side of the table this time. But nevertheless, I'm still going to have the same remarks. As in our history, Mvskoke history, in the East, we had what we call, mother towns. From the lower towns and the upper towns. And our people were moved here to Indian Territory, and they reestablished themselves. And they had their government, they had their court system until the Curtis Act was adopted. And that took away all the government functions of the nation. But prior to that, the nation had districts, already named at that time. But first, this bill, as Representative Randolph said, is that there is a precedent for this bill. And that was to name the district that was formerly Hughes/Seminole District. And I thought about that. And the name Hughes County, Hughes District, it wasn't significant to the Mvskoke Nation as you looked at the different districts. There was Tulsa District, Mvskoke District, McIntosh, Okmulgee, Okmulgee. Those are significant. But Hughes Seminole stood out like a sore thumb to me. And I thought about that. And then I thought about the mother towns that we had formerly and even today more so. And Tecumseh is a mother town located in our district, north of Holdenville and west of Yeager. But Tecumseh is a mother town, and there were towns. It has daughter towns also. And so I did the research and went through and presented a bill, and it passed, and it became, Tecumseh District. Now, this bill that you're addressing now is the same principles. Wagner, Mays, Rogers. Now, Wagner, is it significant to the Mvskoke Nation? Is that name significant? I don't know. Rogers is within the Cherokee Nation, you might say. And Mays, I don't know about that. I haven't done the research on that. But I thought about that also. And I got a lot of information from this book, The Road to Disappearance by Angie DeBow. And in that, it has a map. I know you can't see it from here, but there is a map. And our government, and there was a map made in 1898, and it named the districts within the nation. Okmulgee District, Deep Fork, Wewoka, Eufaula, Mvskoke, and finally, Coweta. They was named by a former legislative branch in the past, prior to Curtis Act and so forth. But when we adopted the Constitution, they adopted what they call voting districts. And they just took the names of the counties they were, within. And our boundaries extend into portions of other counties. With this bill here, Coweta, passes, I hope it does, It's significant because it's a mother town of the lower towns, and it has daughter towns. As the chief mentioned in his message, we want to retrieve what has been lost. And our forefathers named Coweta District. Nobody knows about this. If we don't bring this name back, it's not going to be used anymore. The only time we see it is if we do some research and we see this, there was a Coweta District in the past. We talk about we can't do things about what has happened in the past, but today you can. Today you can. This could be a historic day that we adopt the name of a mother town that is within our jurisdiction. Chief said, this is our reservation now. Let's exercise our sovereignty. And you can be part of this today with a yes vote, majority vote. As a citizen, I support this. And I hope you do too. So that is my little spiel, and I appreciate the time. Mado.
Thank you, Speaker Yola. Any other discussion? Representative Harjo.
I appreciate that. I enjoyed the visit we had during Thanksgiving when you had mentioned that. And, again, it's recapturing who we are as a people in our original names. And, it was mentioned to me, somebody asked me about what that was about, and I told them, and they said, well, why don't you name Tulsa Tulsi now? Why don't you come back with the original pronunciation of it as well? And so maybe that's something that could eventually happen too. So that way now all of our names really match to what we are as a people. And again, thank you, Chief, for expressing what you did. And I'm just glad that we're able to see these things in our time. So Mado, again, former Speaker, we appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Representative Harjo. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Robin Whitecloud.
Yes.
Jody Barnett.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. That motion is adopted. Congratulations, Representative Randolph. NCA 24008, a law of the Mvskoke Creek Nation authorizing a donation to Native American Link, INC sponsors, Anna Marshall.
Motion to adopt.
Representative Marshall made a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Randolph. Discussion.
Speaker?
Representative Golden.
Yes. I understand about the Native American Link, and they are an awesome group that travels and does a lot of good things for a lot of people. When I think of a special appropriation, I think of the greater good for citizens and how many are going without and that fall through the cracks that we can't help. And that's kind of what I base my vote on. And what's the priority? In the last several weeks, I know that there are elders and elders with disabilities who have fallen through the cracks, and they have great need. And when I compare the special appropriation, I look at things like that. And I just wanted to say that to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Golden. Any other discussion? Representative Marshall.
Whenever I was approached by Creek citizens who are asking for the special appropriation, we're paying for the food and lodging so that 6 of the Creek citizens that sing with Native Praise, as they go on their 9-day tour, that they would have the opportunity, because they're having to provide their own lodging and food, and they've done some fundraising, but they fell short. And so they've come requesting assistance with that so that they can participate in this tour. And I think that when they go out and sing, they're also representing us on a national stage as well. And if there's any other questions, or if Miss Augusta Smith and Esther G. want to come down and say any words, they're a part of the Native Praise. And they're here today, if they would like to speak to it.
Can't see me.
Good morning. You can
always
pull
see
that
the
mic
tops
down.
of your glasses.
You have about 3 minutes if you need
Okay.
it.
I'm Augusta Smith. I am the Executive Director of the Native American Link and the Choir Coordinator for the Native Praise Choir. We have been together 25 years. This is our 25th year. And we came about, it just kind of fell on us we were asked to sing so long ago at a Christian meeting, and they wanted the 5 tribes to be represented, five civilized tribes of our here in Oklahoma. And so we represented our tribes, and we sang our native hymns. Cherokee sang theirs, Creek Seminole sang ours, and then the Chickasaws and Choctaws, and we sang. And after that, it just kind of kept going, and we'd get invitations, and we found ourselves organizing because we started going on a national level to places. And since then, we have found that it has been beneficial because we do represent our people wherever we go, but we also represent the Creator who made us, our God. And that's the primary reason we do what we do. It's a way of preserving our culture. It's a way that we are teaching our younger ones. And it did come out of our denomination, but it goes beyond that because our girls now, we have some that are in college, and they have an interest in preserving our language as well. And we do it through the hymns we sing. And I'm really encouraged, because I'm getting on in years. I started 25 years ago when we first started, and to see our younger ones coming in, I want to encourage them to continue. And this will be the first time three of these on this list are college girls right now. Couple of them have graduated from college, now working on master's degrees, and one is at OU getting ready to finish in May. And yet they found the time to be a part of this, and that really blesses me to see this continue on. And we are. I do want to help as any way I can for them. We do want to help, and I did want it to be understood that it's not going to our organization as such. It's going to help them, and I want to be able to say that in our ministry now. As I said, we've been here a while, and you've seen us sing at our intertribal events. We've sung for our Creek citizens as well in different venues and tribal gatherings, and we never turn it down. We always say yes, because we're glad to be a part of something as far as our tribal events, anything that we have. So if we can help them in some way, I want to be able to do that. And I thank you all for letting us have the time just to be able to speak on because of these especially. And we have elderly people. The majority now are in our 60s, 70s, and 80s, and we started when we were a whole lot younger, and now we're moving on, and we are going to be moving on. We lost 4 of our Creek singers last year. They're singing in a bigger choir now, and we're watching this, and we're wanting our younger ones to come in and be a part of it, and our children, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren even, coming and being a part of it, so. It's just a way of encouraging them to keep going. And one of the things we've found that as we've traveled is that we went to Blairsville, Georgia a few years back with the Creek Nation. We took our women with us, and the purpose of that was because the theme of that was we are still here. And they needed the people in Georgia to see that we as Native Americans still exist. We're still very much a people,
and we are we have a lot of pride in who we are, and we're seeing that as we travel across the nations, that there are people that don't know that we still are here today. And I taught in Northern Virginia and years ago, and a little boy in a classroom said, "Where do you put your teepee?" That opened up an avenue, so many things that I could teach him about who we are. First of all, to say, I don't come from a people who lived in teepees. And it was just an opening of educating them, and that's part of what we do too when we travel. So thank you.
Thank you. Ms. G, just a minute. Representative Marshall, you're only allowed 5 minutes, and that was 5 minutes. So
use it.
So hang on, Representative G. Is there any other discussion before I go back to Ms. Marshall? Representative Deere.
I have a question for Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Yes, Augusta Smith. I support this group. I always love to hear you sing, but in the legislation it states it's a Baptist ministry. Do you encourage or do you allow other denominations to join?
We've never opened it.
Can you speak in a microphone? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we started that way because that was the group who started us out. They asked the women from our Indian Baptist churches to come and to sing, so we kind of just stayed that way. It's not that we don't like having other people, because we certainly encourage our young people to come and be a part of it. If they want to be a part of it, we're going to let them learn to sing with us.
But
We
particularly
would not
Baptist,
turn that down.
particularly Baptist people.
We are, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Deere. Representative Randolph.
I would like to say that I support this, and one of the things they were talking about is travel, and their lodging, and that's no different from when we travel. As council representatives, as employees of the nation, we go on trips also, and these things are provided for us, and as citizens, I think that should be the same, so I support this 100%. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Randolph. Representative Marshall, I heard 5 minutes or?
Give her 2 minutes. No.
2 minutes, all right. Ms. G, you got
Just
2 minutes.
Okay, I just wanted, Randolph talked about money, and I'm an elder, and I travel, and wherever we go, we have to pay for our food, and for our hotel. Like when we went to England, we had to come up with $2,000 apiece. We went to Hawaii, so you have to come up with the money ahead of time. And we're going to sing at Rose State this coming Saturday at the Capitol. So we have to pay our hotel rooms, our food, everything to get there, okay, because we travel in our own cars. So, but to me, it's a blessing because we share our language. And we went to Alabama one time, and they said, "We thought you all were dead." We said, "No, we're alive," because there were Creek Indians that we were talking to, kids that we were singing to. So we are alive. Keep us alive. Let us share our language. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. G. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call vote. This will require a 2/3 vote of the full council.
Anna Marshall?
Yes.
Charles McHenry?
Yes.
Thomasine Uhoa Osborne?
Yes.
Darrell Proctor?
Yes.
Mark Randolph?
Yes.
Robin Whitecloud?
Yes.
Jody Barnett?
Yes.
Galen Cloud?
Yes.
Mary Crawford?
Yes.
Joyce Steer?
No.
Patrick Freeman?
Yes.
Sandra Golden?
No.
Leonard Gouge?
Yes.
Nelson Harjo?
Yes.
Robert Huft?
Yes.
Speaker, you have 13 in favor, 2 against.
13 in favor, 2 against. That motion is adopted. Congratulations. That concludes the order of business. We are now down to other business. Council, is there any other business? Hearing none. Announcements. Any announcements from National Council? Representative Marshall.
Under other business, is it possible for the National Council to send a letter of congratulations to Lily Gladstone on the Golden Globe Award, but also for her nomination as Best Actress for the Oscars?
Yes, we will get that done.
Okay, thank you.
Any other business? Hearing none. Announcements, down to announcements. Any announcements, council?
Here.
Representative Barnett.
Salt Creek Methodist in Holdenville will be having our Wild Onion Dinner March 2nd, the first Saturday in March, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So there's an event on Facebook. Think about us, come visit us, pray for us if you can't make it. And we just appreciate everybody and their help. I know a lot of townspeople and maybe Chief will be able to make it again this year. He helped us out last year. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Barnett. Any other announcements? You feel?
Finally found someone I'm taller. No, I knew I'd forget someone, but totally forgot my executive branch to announce the cabinet. So if you don't mind, Speaker,
That's fine.
do have our Attorney General, Jerry Wisner, our Controller had to leave, Patricia, Zach Harjo, Secretary of Nation, Raylene Butler, Secretary of Cultural Humanities, the new one, Jeff Ives, Chief of Staff, Grover Wynn, Veterans Department, Shane Hullaby, Tribal Administrator, Kayla Harjo, Education, Secretary of Education, Sean Terry, the Health Division, Mary Mvskoke, Tax Commission, Jesse Allen, Secretary of Interior, and Samuel Deere, Acting, of our Human Services. And sitting in the back, Chief of Police, Richard Phillips. But I also forgot to recognize someone earlier, as I mentioned the award, that just this week it was mentioned that Bobby Howard was the Emergency Management Director of the Year for Oklahoma. So I apologize for didn't have that in my notes, but again, thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Chief. Adjournment. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Representative Huff made a motion to adjourn, seconded by Representative McHenry. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries. At this time, I'd like to ask Representative Galen Cloud from the McIntosh District to close us out with a benediction.
Alexander. Ola momoy ya puna sa marata hili dondo. Ata cha vasko jirondo. Baga cha ya ogida ya baga cha marata ya baga cha marata. Anda mado da jige dondo. Ade. Pai di hanyuari buski halwe alegitsa. Uzanet da hanyuari umaga da ya had gate Wuni jitsa jindu ije zirundo. Agi omagra hanyuari Mvskoke dan. Ilahanata marata. Afunagi atulagatat. Azosa meman ahuzaskidi. Nakomaga Mvskoke. Nagi imaida des. Unaida des. Ugolakodat legat. Nak omaga muagat ahuzaskidi zirundo. Hanyuari iganadat. Lega, tot kadat mo fenijin, moin fully dundui. Unik to zinundu ezen, moin fully dundui. Nak buhai dida pomia, avas kuzin, moin fully dui. Tamasto es des, adichidun what? He goes up to the des. Know what that, to lock that, moin. That. Why Chihiji Dundo. Agi des Mvskoke that in Hilahanat that Talaga Haga, Umagiat that Yalegiat, Agit des. Akumaga Buhaidi, Ingi des, Awayos, Agabundik sat, Imi Dunundui, Nak Umugi Edin, Muin Ali Dundo. Avonangi adulagata yawatda igana yetoya. Okfanga ba. Ujavagi di dondo. Adamo idezin. Uji vidui. Pada gislegi. Akumaga hanyuadi. Your full luggage. In Hila not. But kung we don't do agi market.
Amen. What old Representative Cloud? Meeting adjourned, 11:30.